What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the MCTV show. Today I was doing some fishing, and because I was at a public park, I figured why not get into what exactly an easement is, what it means to your pocketbook, and how it affects your real estate rights. Let's get into it. On the surface, there are two types of easements: public easements and private easements. For the sake of this episode, we're going to take a look at public easements. So by definition, a public easement is the right of the public to use certain streets, highways, paths, airspace, even though the areas are owned by others. So the others that own these areas that are subject to public easements are typically municipalities, cities, towns, counties, parishes if you live in a state that legislates as such. In this case, the area subject to public easement is this community park that you see on the screen here, where I was fishing this morning. Now, a public easement is intended for the enjoyment of the public. And the way you participate as a part of the public is by paying your taxes. So these areas that are subject to public easements, like roads, paths, highways, parks, streets, are funded by your tax dollars. So by being a tax-paying citizen in your community, you are part of the public that has the right to use these areas that are subject to public easement. Now, just because a public easement existed in a certain area at one point in time does not mean that easement exists in perpetuity. A great example is if, as a child, you and your dad or mom went to fish at this certain dock. This is where you always put your boat in the water. You have tons of childhood memories fishing and starting your fishing trips at this dock. Well, fast forward 30 years, now you're bringing your children to where you remember this dock being. But now a public utility plan exists where that dock once was. Though the body of water is still there, that land is no longer subject to public easement. Now, public easement is extinguished by abandonment, which takes place whenever cessation occurs, and cessation is the act of ending or bringing something to an end with clear intent to never use that easement again. So because the dock is removed and there's now a utility plant in that area where the dock once existed, there is a clear intent for that easement use to be no more, because there is no longer access to that body of water from that particular point. We would constitute this as abandonment, and the easement would therefore be extinguished. You would no longer have rights to access this land, even though you are a tax-paying citizen. Let's recap. So initially we mentioned the two main types of easements that you're going to come across, that being a public easement and a private easement. In this video, we went into the specifics on what exactly a public easement is, how you participate in that public easement maintenance as a tax-paying citizen, and how a public easement can be no more through extinguishment. In the next video, we're going to cover what exactly a private easement is, how you participate in that as a private citizen, and what that means to your pocketbook as well. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.